Well, hi again, Beaver Nation. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to part 2 of our series with Director of Athletics Todd Stansbury as we come to you from legendary Gill Coliseum. And when we talked as we did before, and Todd, welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Good to be
in
here.
Our first part, we talked a lot about, you said you could just feel coming back to Oregon State after the 3.5 years at Central Florida, you could feel the excitement all over campus. But you got to know this place right here, this past season and the anticipation going into another year, this is really palpable excitement and buzz, isn't it? You can feel it just walking around here.
You certainly can, and fortunately, because of the Pac-12 network, I was able to watch quite a bit of it as it kind of unfolded last year, and it was an incredible thing to see Gill packed the way it was.
You know, for men's basketball, obviously, Wayne Tinkle just so far exceeded what anyone thought was possible, and the victory over Arizona, I can still hear ringing through this great old building. Scott Rueck winning the Pac-12 championship outright. What an incredible story that is. So let's start with basketball a little bit, Todd. Your thoughts about those two coaches, the programs, the footing that they're on going forward.
I mean, I don't know if in the history of Oregon State we've had both of those programs firing on all cylinders the way we do right now. And when you look at those two head coaches, and really the head coaches across the board, I don't know that we've ever had as strong a coaching staff at Oregon State. So it is pretty exciting. And
then in gymnastics, the excellence of the program continues year after year. And certainly in volleyball, a remarkable season to go to the Sweet 16 and the tournament. Jim Zaleski's wrestling program, but Coach Leskevich, Zaleski, the chaplains. So again, those coaches too, I know we talk a lot about hoops, but the quality of coaches and their commitment to the vision that we've talked about in another series continues here. How excited are you to get to work with those people again? It's
great to work with them, and fortunately I know most of them. But I mean, when you think about the excitement of Gill, and every single sport that is in Gill either won or vied for a conference championship last year. Now that's pretty exciting.
And it's a special place. You know, we talked about the theme of a special overall place, but Gill, you walk into this building, the sense of history, the late, great Paul Valenti and what he meant, Jimmy Anderson going into the hall. It's Ralph Miller Court at Gill Coliseum. So what about this? It's an old building, we'll talk about that a little bit, but just so full of great history.
Yeah, and I think that's when you walk into this building and when you're in the bowl, regardless of what event you're watching, I think you really do feel the sense of history, and you look around at the banners and some of the greats that have played here and coached here. It is a special place.
And a lot of things have been done to keep it, in the sense, modern and viable. What about this place in terms of, you know, it opened in 1950, so it's been around a while, it's got some mileage, but what are some of the things you've seen happen and that you think still are sort of in place to make sure that this remains as special of a place as it's always been?
Yeah, I think, you know, being the old building that it is, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, obviously it captures the history of the program and some of the most incredible moments in Oregon State history, but on the flip side of that is it does require constant maintenance, constant upgrading. You constantly need to be looking at how are you going to fulfill the needs of the modern athletic teams, student athletes, the fans. So it is something that is challenging, and we do have to be committed to continually trying to upgrade and maintain this grand old building.
And with respect to that, Todd, specifically in terms of ticket operations and things within Gill as people are coming in, what at this point do you know about how that's going to look in terms of the fan experience coming in here?
Sure, we are in the process of going to do a renovation that will start in the fall, and that will affect our ticket operations, in that We want them to be front of building and not something that when our fans come in the front door need directions on how to get to. The other part of that is I really believe in geographically locating units that are engaged in the same type of operation. So that will also allow us to get our external staffs, ticketing, and our fundraisers in close proximity to each other, since they have to be hand in glove in how they're supporting our overall mission of developing, creating resources for our student athletes, but also taking care of our customers. And that's the thing that we're always trying to figure out, is how do we be more customer friendly and provide the best customer service possible.
Todd, in our first part of this four-part series, we talked about some of your experiences at Central Florida, some things you learned. You also, ultimately, all of this is about people and about relationships. So you built some relationships there and worked with some people that have come with you to be part of what you've articulated as a vision for this place. So tell us about three individuals in particular. When you mentioned tickets, who are the people you brought to help you fulfill these goals?
Sure. Well, Zach Lassiter will be coming as my Deputy Athletic Director for External Operations, which encompasses all of our marketing, ticket operations, communications, video, anything that people see externally. He was instrumental in helping us elevate the brand at UCF. And I mean, if people think back 3.5 years ago, I don't know that a lot of people even knew where UCF was, let alone what it was. And he was instrumental in telling that story, creating a very focused message. And he was involved with the same type of thing at the University of Utah prior to me stealing him. And as I watched Utah enter the Pac-12, I was so impressed with their preparation, especially from a marketing standpoint, and that's why I went and got Zach to begin with. Jeff Kiesler will be our Associate Athletic Director for Sales and Service, basically running our ticket operations. He actually, and I'm bringing him from UCF as well, but he came out of the private sector and really spent a career in sales and service in resorts, ski resorts, that sort of thing. And I really was looking to professionalize our ticket operation. He worked very closely with the Orlando Magic because I don't know that there's any organization or league that does ticket sales better and customer service better than the NBA and the Magic. And us being in the land of Disney, we were able to learn a lot of things about ticketing, about group sales, about how to sell a ticket. And so he turned our operation there into a very vibrant professional sales unit. And so having him join our team, I think, is really going to be he's going to be a great asset to us. Kim Yamasi will be our Senior Associate Athletic Director for Student Development. And he will be really the architect and the main driver behind the Everyday Champions program. And so all of the programs that we talked about in our earlier episode, Beavers Without Borders and First Round Draft Choice program, and all the things that really prepare our student athletes for life after their sport and their ability to compete at the highest level in life, he will oversee that operation. And he was also the architect of the support program that produced the 95% graduation rate.
Well, Todd, these are part of your team, these four individuals who clearly, like you, who knew the place and knew the territory, knew you were coming back to a special place at Oregon State. You knew that. These people have bought in a very real sense on your word, and they've moved their families out, but they must have a sense, too, about what a special place Gill is, what Oregon State's all about.
Yeah, I think it says a lot for Oregon State that that I've been able to attract this kind of staff to come with me, to join a great staff that's already in place, because for the most part, they are moving across the country. And I think it just says a lot about this community, this institution, and a belief that we can really make a difference here. And they're excited about being here, and I know we had a small dinner downtown last night with all the newcomers, and just looking around, you know who the home team is. And we're excited to be in Corvallis where you know who the home team is, and that can't be said in every community. And so I think that it's a real tribute to this program and what's already been done, and that we've been able to assemble a great team and are looking forward to you know, continuing to elevate the program and take our rightful place at the top of the Pac-12.
Well stated. Great to have you back, Todd. Thanks for joining us again here. Todd Stansbury returning to Oregon State. That wraps up part 2 of our 4-part series. Thanks for joining us here on OSUBeavers.com. Go Beavs.